I asked people on Twitter if they had any questions for me, so let's just have a quick look at Twitter and see what we've got going on. So Rain Showers says, if you could give any advice to people trying to choose a name, what would it be? Well, Rain Showers, you either go for a name which is kind of similar to your birth name, or you go for a name that's completely the opposite and has got nothing to do with your birth name. So for me, I chose my name, my full name is Ralph Francis Fox Fisher, and I chose Ralph or Raphael because it's really similar to my birth name, which is Rachel. Fox was actually my drag king name, so while I was walking the line to gender, while I was still quite androgynous, it's gender neutral, so I like the name Fox. I like going by that, it seems to suit me, so that's cool. And I kept on seeing foxes everywhere, like loads of creatures around, so try out a few different names. I mean, I've had a million names in my lifetime, like honestly, I've had Rachel Fisher, Rachel Rakewell, Francis Forgetful, Ralph Tiger, Fox Fisher, obviously, Raphael Fox. Feels like loads more names than that anyway, but it's just a name, it doesn't really matter so much. It's good to, for people to know what to call you. Maybe ask your parents, because they might have had a different name for you if you'd been assigned a different gender at birth. Let's have a look at you, Rain. Let's see what name we should call you. You look really sweet. You look like a Matty or a Matt or a Luke or a Lucas. Ask your friends, maybe. Ask people what they see you as. That's the exciting thing. You get to choose your name. How about the name Rain? Rain's pretty awesome. It's kind of a hippie name. Go for that. Or is that a girl's name? Why should a girl's name be Rain? That's weird. The next question is from Alex, and Alex says, if you could travel back in time and give just one advice to your 16-year-old self, would you do it? And what would you tell him? So Alex, yes, I would do it. I would go back and I would say, hey, Fox. Young Fox, I would say, listen, you're trans. Stop writing angsty poetry in your bedroom. Don't feel like you're a failure at being female, or a failure at life. There's an awesome future out there for you. Okay, dress how you want. Cut your hair short if you want to. Stop feeling so embarrassed and so ashamed about everything. Stop cutting yourself. I just want to be like, look, life is really what you make it, and it's up to you to be happy. So you're an awesome person and you're doing great work. You're going to go on to make some awesome art, so just stick with the art, stick with writing and reading. And you're trans, man, so that might help enlighten you, young Fox, to recognize what path you're heading down. And there's people out there. The internet hasn't been invented yet. Well, it's just kind of in the early days right now, young Fox, but soon there will be a huge plethora of trans people creating a community online, and that's going to be amazing. So yeah, stick with it and find your own truth. I don't know if that's good advice or not. I probably wouldn't have listened to myself at the time, but it might have been insightful for me to come back and say to myself that you are trans, and it's okay to if you feel like a failure as a woman, it's because you're a guy. So don't beat yourself up about it, and well done for surviving your first puberty, my friend. You're such an inspirational person. I wonder if you had coming out as trans advice for female to males. Coming out advice is do it in your own time. Make sure you feel safe about what you're disclosing. Make sure you have some support around you. So if you're still at school, there might be a support group, like an LGBT group that you can talk to, or a teacher that you can confide in, a best friend that you can talk to. At this point in time, you're quite vulnerable, so you want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with good people, and do your research. Coming out is a long process. I mean, just for anyone who's LGBT, when you come out, you don't just come out the once. You come out, however many times you need to throughout your life when you're meeting new people. When you come out, I guess you want to launch yourself. You want to, tell people how it is. So maybe practice in the mirror, practice talking to some people about it. Hi Fox, I want to start by saying how much I respect you and Lewis. I am a trans guy, and through watching MTS, it gave me some self-belief. I'm not out to anyone yet, so I just wondered if you had any tips for how to go about it. I mean, my mum didn't exactly jump for joy when I came out as a lesbian 2 years ago, but she also didn't kick me out either, so I don't quite know how to go about telling her especially. Thanks. Okay, so Anonymous, it's a process. It's definitely a process. So it took you a while to come to terms with things and your own identity, and it's the same for everyone you tell. So for my mum, for example, it took her over a year to really get on board with things, and when she finally got on board, that was it. Like, she's just like one of my biggest supporters. She's amazing. So my mum, she was upset because she wanted to know whether I was going to be happy, and she didn't know if I was going to be happy, and she wanted to make sure that I was doing the right thing and not causing myself more grief or backing myself into a corner. What she really needed was a visual reference point of how I was going to look. So when I realised that that's what she needed, I went to go see her, and we sat down and we watched some videos of people who were further down the line than me, people who had been on T for a while, people who worked out a bit, people with a similar structure or stature, so my mum could see how things were going to be. And these people were great role models, people who are kind of happy, getting on with their lives, talking about how great it was to go through that process. And my mum relaxed a little bit then. She started to see, okay, well, this is something that's done, this is a path that's been trodden. Because I think that really all that parents want or should want is the happiness of their child. Hi Fox, I just came across the show and I couldn't help but notice your awesome sense of fashion. Do you think you could make a collage of some outfits? Well, that's incredibly flattering, thank you. Sometimes I wear braces and vests and stuff like that, and I dress up a little bit, but I also dress down. I wear like weird hats and stuff, so that's really sweet that you like my clothing. I've got way too much of it. I need to get rid of some. I have a massive t-shirts and stuff, and as a screen printer I screen print a lot of my own clothing, or onto a lot of my own clothing, which is really fun, so I thoroughly recommend that. Screen print your own clothing, there we go. Somebody else says, hi Fox, for how long is it possible to safely take tea? Now that the changes have been made, is it possible to stop taking it without reversing the changes? It's good to not stop and start as you go along, because with hormone influxes it can mess around with your pituitary gland and make changes with your body, and can be quite taxing on the body. I've been on testosterone for about 3.5 years, and I'm kind of at that point where I need to think about whether I'm going to have a hysterectomy, all that kind of stuff, and I'm a little bit apprehensive about it because I know some people that have had hystos who then have a real problem with absorbing the tea into their body, so I'm kind of a bit daunted by the prospect of having everything taken out that actually gives me a natural hormone in my body, obviously estrogen, but still, and then being reliant on synthetic testosterone for the rest of my life, and then not be able to kind of process that. It's kind of a strange idea. So, you know, be aware of what you're getting yourself into when you embark upon this. And for me, I had to go down this path. I felt so inauthentic and so skinny and weedy before taking tea, that when I started to take it, I really kind of relaxed and felt so much more comfortable and less anxious, and it was the right thing to do. So if I stopped taking testosterone now, my body fat would change back to kind of a female form. I've had my top surgery, but I might get a little bit more kind of breast tissue might come back a little bit. This is obviously if I stop tea and my estrogen kicks in. My voice will stay deep because once that thickens, that's kind of how it is. My facial hair would probably stay roughly the same, maybe soften a little bit over time. Same with my arm hair and leg hair, and all the other hair on my body would just kind of soften a little bit, but I think I would still have the hair, still have a deep voice. My jawline would change as well. My skin is thinner here, so it gives the impression of me having more jawline than before, than pre-tea. Everybody is different. Alright, that's about it. Oh, got one more question. So Anonymous says, what would be your ultimate goal in life and your quote to live by? So my goal in life is to leave the earth, or leave the world, a better place than when I arrived, and to leave some sort of legacy. I want to make films, loads more films, and just kind of keep on doing the gender stuff, and also make fiction, and just, you know, keep making LGBT content. My main quote is minimum effort, maximum results, because, and it doesn't mean I don't put effort into things, because I do. I mean, I care about stuff, but I do so much that I'm always trying to find hacks or easier ways to do things and do minimum effort, maximum result, and then everyone's happy. So that's quite a good code to live by.